Welcome back to Cosmoholics Anonymous. I am your favorite spiritual mother, Bougie Vintage, and today's video is Botox. We are continuing Botox, girl, because there's things that we need to talk about. I was actually going in order from the day that I posted email me again, because I wanted to make sure that I don't miss anybody, so I was going in order. But there's somebody that emailed me a second time, even though I didn't instruct y'all to do that. So I'm gonna start with her email and then I'm gonna head back into what I was doing. Don't take that as a, okay, maybe I should email her again. Please don't, because if my email gets too crowded, I'm gonna lose my mind, and I can't afford to lose my mind. So we're gonna start with this person. Wow, you know what? She didn't email me twice about the same thing. She replied to her email. Let me tell you, listen, it's so crazy because in my last video that I just filmed before coming to film this, I was talking about dreams and paying attention to your dreams and writing them down, blah, blah, blah. And now in this email that I was about to get into, which I'm not going to bother getting into it, person had emailed me back and she said, "Good morning, Bo. I know it's very early, girl. It was 5:08 a.m. child. Funny thing was, I was awake when she had emailed me. But God has had his way. I was dreaming about my high school AP stats teacher talking to me about my parents. First off, this lady was someone who was there for me when she noticed I was depressed. She would always pull me aside, talk to me, and let me know she was praying for me. In this dream, she said, I need to stop blaming my parents for things they could not control." Woo, child. I've heard it before, but it was never as clear and as on time as it was this morning. He then woke me out my sleep. I gave him praise because out of the whole long dream I had, this part stood out the most to me. I am grateful. I am in his favor. He has been talking to me and letting me know I can forgive myself, I can forgive my parents, and I can move on. And I think I touched on stuff like that in my last video. And I love it. I love it so much. There's so much power in what she's emailed me, because I thought she was emailing me a second time so that her story could be told, because obviously there's probably lots of other people going through what she's gone through. We've covered it before though, but I thought her story was going to be a little bit more interesting, but it would also be a little triggering for some people. And so the basis of her email was that her sister used to be inappropriate with her. And the story is very sad, and a lot of people go through this, and so I wanted to touch on the subject. But when she emailed me this second part, I was like, to God be the glory, because it's crazy. When I'm in my prayer closet, girl, when I get to praying, there's a part every single night when I get to praying about you guys. And there's a lot of you, so obviously I can't reach each and every one of you. I don't know y'all by name. I just refer to you guys as my subscribers. And so God knows who I'm talking about or who needs prayer in those moments. And so if you guys are praying too in your prayer closets about your personal situations, and then I'm over here praying too, that means that two of us are gathered in prayer and asking God for whatever it is that you guys need. And so I just want you guys to know that I am praying for you guys always. You guys are always on my heart and always in my prayers. And so as I was saying, I am always in my prayer closet looking out for you guys. And so united in prayer, God has to answer. And so I'm happy because I feel like God is listening and he's healing who needs to be healed. And I'm just so happy and elated that her email to me was not her more looking for advice or desperate for advice. It was to tell me that she's had an awakening and she's now able to forgive where she once couldn't forgive. And I'm just, oh girl, love it. I love it. Anyway, now that that was said, let's get into these emails. Hi Bo, I want to start off by saying this isn't necessarily a question, but a show of appreciation. My name is Sydney and I'm 21 years old from California. And I've been watching your videos on and off since my freshman year in high school. And just as you have, I've grown and adapted since that time in my life. At first, your spiritual journey took me by surprise. I was confused, but I continued to watch because I knew in my heart there was something I needed to face, and your videos would show me. I am beyond grateful that I did. Hallelujah. Your words have brought me to a point of realization that I've needed for a while. My life has felt fleeting and incomplete for a few years now. A day before I saw your video, Take Heed, I deleted Instagram and Twitter with a friend. It was intended just to be a cleanse. See, and so was it for me, but girl, I still ain't reactivated my account. I don't even have Instagram on my phone at all. I don't even have Twitter on my phone. I really didn't expect for it to go in the direction it has, but I'm grateful it took this turn. At first, I was bored out of my mind, spent hours playing Candy Crush and Bejeweled because I did not know what to do without Instagram or Twitter. I decided to open my Bible app just to see my verse of the day, but ended up finding much more. Amen. Oh my gosh. I started reading from Genesis, something I've never done before. I spent more time on the app in the past week than I have the past year. The one thing that I never used to look at was my screen time. So on iPhone, there's screen time and you can like set like things or whatever for it. I don't do all that stuff. But in that first week of transitioning, I guess, so to speak, or removing certain apps out of my life, I checked my screen time and the percentages that were for social media had gone down so drastically, like in the double digits. Like I wasn't using social media at all. And so I saw, and reading was elevated, and I'm like, this is what it should be. We spend so much time being distracted playing Candy Crush, doing different things on our phones, when we could be getting wiser, when we could be becoming better people, and we're spending our time being distracted because we're too busy. We don't want to face life, you know. So I love that she mentioned that. Anyway, I've discovered the Bible app has plans you can follow and learn from. I don't know what she's trying to say here. I'm gonna read it exactly how she put it. I found this plan that was not only being cherished, but a huge part of why I am excited to say that I am finding God and loving every part of it. Not just for his companionship, him within myself as well. The plan is called Finding Your Way Back to God. I will link it in the description box for you guys. I really wanted to share this plan because I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. It's been a full week since my journey began. During this week, I have done yoga every morning after reading as practice to get closer to God. I read from Genesis and on, as well as chapters presented in my plans at the beginning and end of my day. I felt a sense of peace and calm hovering over me that I haven't felt ever. Period. Poo. Okay, this year was extremely tough. Went through and still going through, child. A breakup, successfully finished one of the hardest semesters of my life, moved, worked my underpaid booty off, and went through mental challenges I thought I couldn't come back from, and yet I'm still here. Listen, this testimony, girl, speaking to my soul, honey. This is the stuff I want to hear. Like, I'm so happy for her. I just like to say that your journey has helped me fully propel into my own. Gotta love God's timing. Won't he do it? Won't he do it, y'all? I can't. Don't want to make this too long, even though I already have, LOL. But I had to share this with you. I want you to know what you're doing is amazing and it's helping people. Blessings to you and your gorgeous family. XOXO Sydney. She also attached like an image of all the other plans she's doing. I love the Bible app for the plans. Oh my gosh, I love the plans. Even though lately I haven't really been doing a lot of plans. I've been more so just reading on my own accord and just choosing certain books and reading them cover to cover. I think this is so beautiful. And so yeah, thank you so much, Sydney, for sharing that with me. I love it because the same way that I'm trying to help keep you guys motivated to be on the path of righteousness, I am using you guys for the same thing. So when you guys tell me this, when you guys leave comments and tell me like, wow, like this word was for me, it reassures me and it keeps me going, and like it's really helpful to me. So thank you. So this next email is called I Feel Disconnected from My Siblings. Hey Bo, I'll try to keep it super short and my English may not be perfect. My name is Gara. I'm 16 and I have an older sister, 17, and a younger brother, 15. For most of our life, we've all been pretty close and always told each other everything. Within this past year, I've noticed my brother and sister have become closer to each other, leaving me out of things quite often. With me being the middle child, I was not used to that. No, middle children usually have middle child syndrome, but I'm going to continue. This wasn't much of a problem besides some hurt feelings here and there. It wasn't until October when I found out they do things like sneak out and smoke weed together. I'm not against smoking, it's just not for me. Well, good on you, girl, okay? For some reason, I felt hurt that they'd been keeping secrets from me and that they've been treating me like the lame sibling. See, baby, let me tell you something right now. You have been set apart. Appreciate and enjoy that you have been set apart, because God is going to use you for something spectacular that neither your brother or your sister can do. So appreciate the fact that they're gone and snuck out and they're doing whatever with each other. You are set apart. Sometimes when you're set apart, you get isolated. I'm isolated. I have no friends in Ottawa. The only family I've built my own family here now, plus I have my mom. But when I first came out here, all I had was me and Shooter. And so 4 years later, almost 5 years, I do not have a single real friend here in the city that I'm in, because I've been set apart. And it's not to say I'm not a friendly person. It's not to say I have RBF and you can't get along with me, but my spirit just can't take certain people being around me. And sometimes those certain people are your family. So don't be upset or discouraged or any negative emotions pertaining to the fact that your siblings don't really want to hang out with you. If you're lame, that's good, okay? You're not lame, boo-boo. You're set apart. Know the difference, okay? I really feel this strong disconnect from my brother and sister, and I'm not sure how or if I should come to them about it. I get that they just want to have their fun, and I don't want to ruin that, but oftentimes it ends with me feeling like crap. Any advice would be great. Well, I just told you everything you need to know. Know that you're set apart and use that to your advantage. Use that to spend the time with yourself to grow spiritually. Use that to spend time with God. And I don't know who you believe in, what you believe in, but if you're here and you're writing into me, I'm gonna have to just assume that you believe in God. Okay? It is what it is. I think since I made the transition on my channel, all the atheists and the demons, they done fled, girl. They don't want to hear nothing about this. And so if you're here, it's for a purpose and a reason. And now you know that you're not the lame sibling. You're the sibling that's been set apart, and there's something great about you. Something that you're gonna have to dive into to figure out what is my purpose, and you're the perfect age to do it. You're lucky that you're doing it now and not when you're 27, got 2 kids like like me, honey. I done figured it out late, okay? I was always cool with being a loner, okay? I used to be a loner stoner. But I was always cool with being alone because I always enjoyed my own company. I thought it was super funny. I could laugh at my own jokes. I didn't have to share my snacks. Like, being by yourself is cool sometimes. You gotta know this. Salem's getting in trouble, girl. Anyway, you are at the perfect age to start finding yourself and grounding yourself, so that as you age, you'll be able to do things that people that are long past you, that are older than you, can't even do, because you took the time when you were 16 to get to know not just yourself, but to know God and who you are through Him. Hallelujah. Ooh, girl. Trying to talk to my judgmental family. Hey, Bo. Just wanted to say thank you for your last advice. It really helped. I have a new issue I would love your advice on. Please just call me R. So recently, I just started my very first relationship. We met online by accident, and we both are currently in college. I'm 23, he's 22. We haven't met in person yet, and I'm going to meet him in person in March. Well, that's not too far away, but girl, that's far away. We video chat all the time, text constantly, and do goodnight calls once in a while. Here's the thing, our relationship is long distance. He's in Indiana and I'm in Virginia. But he's been really good to me. He's given me money when I needed to buy food when my own parents wouldn't. He's helped me a lot during my fight with depression and my hospitalization after my second attempt. The guy has just been amazing, and I never asked him once for help. He just did it. You know, sometimes we gotta recognize when God sends us an angel. And a lot of times I look at people as angels. I look at my mom as one of my angels here on earth. And I know that she looks at her mom as one of her angels when she was still living. And now that she's passed, she's still her angel. But even my children, I look at them as my angels. I feel a certain level of protection when my kids are with me. And this person that God has sent you is definitely somebody that is in your corner. And if he's not hurting you, then it's okay to have a relationship with him, even though it's long distance right now. If he's been there for you when times were really dark and you didn't even have to tell him or ask him, he's serving you. And so, girl, you have to find your own strength without him, but he's there for a purpose and a reason, and he's going to help you get to that strength. Let me continue. He's truly my first love. Due to this, I want to also have my first time with him. I'm still a virgin, and I've never wanted to have sex until I found someone I trusted and loved. Here's the thing. My parents aren't really happy about my relationship. They are very old school and don't think I should be dating someone I haven't met. Well, I have my own reservations about online dating, but it's the norm now, you know? On top of that, my family in general is hella judgmental. They basically like to push their agenda on others if they think it's the right way. And my mom isn't 100% on board too because he's white. Well, girl. Well, I done told, listen, I don't know. Okay, let me read. Well, Scottish to be more specific. He has a sexy Scottish accent that I love. Yes, I'm black. My question is, how do I tell my mom and dad that I'm going to Indiana in March to be with him for a week without them freaking out? Or should I not tell them? Or should I just tell them and leave out some details? Because I'll be with him for a week staying at his apartment on his college campus, and I'm pretty sure my parents are going to freak if I say that part, especially since I'm currently still a virgin and they want me to stay that way until marriage. Thanks for your advice. Okay. I've been preaching abstinence a lot since before my spiritual journey, so I can't get on board with you saying that you want to give yourself to this person despite how good they've been to you. Because despite the fact that he's been good to you, we have to look at things from every single angle. Your parents are being parents. I'm not going to come for their parenting. They're not hurting you. They're only trying to help you. Yes, I understand that you're 22 or 23 actually. I understand that you are becoming a woman, but you need to look and you have to realize that there's still room for growth. There's still room for you to become who you're supposed to be. And based on the fact that you survived not one but 2 attempts, I have to let you know right now, that there's something bigger than you that you're supposed to do here on earth. And you can't do that if you make wrong decisions or decisions based on your emotions, because sometimes our emotions lie to us. And I'm not going to say that your boyfriend is a liar. I'm not going to say that this is not the guy you're supposed to marry. I'm not going to say any of that because I don't know you or him. But what I do know is that sometimes when certain people come into our lives and they have some kind of expectancy from us, they will do things to make us feel safe and make us feel like this is what it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be with you. You're supposed to be with me. So I'm going to do these things in the beginning, but somewhere down the line, they don't do those things anymore because they got you. And so if this person truly does love you, they will be okay with waiting. If he really wants to be with you and have a life with you, because you guys are in your 20s, you have to know that a 20-year-old man, 22-year-old man may not necessarily know what he wants long term. And I was actually watching 90 Day Fiancé just the other day. There's a new one called, is it Just Landed, I think? And the guy was with his girlfriend for 9 years. The girl was a part of his family. He never asked her to marry him. And then he met this woman that was not even staying in the country. He crossed paths with her, basically cheated on his girlfriend with her, broke up with his girlfriend, and then proposed to the foreigner because when he saw, he just knew. And so I'm not saying your relationship is going to drag on for 9 years and then the guy's not going to ask you to marry him. It's going to be a lesson, you know, and not what you anticipated, but you have to guard yourself spiritually. I know you may not be spiritual. I know you might not believe in anything, but There's one thing that nobody can deny, and it's that we're spiritual beings. Based on what I've mentioned before about if you weigh a person a minute before they die and a minute after they die, they weigh the same amount because our spirit is what lives in us. Our spirit goes on. And so you know that you're a spiritual being. Nobody can deny that. We're not just here. We're not just matter. We're not just existing. We're spiritual beings. We are literally led by our spirit. And so your spirit still has growth to do. My spirit is still growing. And you have an advantage of growing your spirit while nobody else has come in and polluted it. Because as soon as you have sex with somebody, your spirit is then tied to that person for life. And sometimes when you've made bad decisions, you can break a soul tie, but it's one of the hardest things to do spiritually, break soul ties. Sometimes those things just stay with you forever. You could pray them, try to pray them away for long periodically times, and it just doesn't happen. And so that's what you have to guard. You have to guard your spirit, and you're at an advantage. I don't think, sometimes too, when you meet somebody online, things are going great online, things are going great on FaceTime, but then you come and meet them and something's off. Something is wrong, but you push that away because you're like, no, I need this so bad. I want this so bad. But you can't ignore that. Again, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen when you go, but a part of your story that you sent in that's really standing out to me is that you're considering lying to your parents about this person. That's literally red flag number one. I get that your parents don't agree with it, but you cannot do that. And I'm coming from a place of, in my late teens, there was one time that I lied to my mom about my whereabouts. And that one time that I lied about my whereabouts changed me forever. And I always said I would never lie about my whereabouts, because if something were to happen to me, my mom would be looking in the wrong place to find me. And that was always my mindset as a teenager. But this one time in particular that I lied and something bad happened and affected me long term, it was like a lesson to say, you were right all those times you said you would never lie, and now you lied and look at what happened. You cannot lie to your parents about where you're gonna be. I'm just gonna look at all the boxes here, okay? And suppose this person that you're meeting with is great online. Oh God, I'm getting chills because, oh my God, I don't think you should do it. The reason I say I'm checking all the boxes is because suppose you tell your parents you're going to wherever you're going for a week. You lie to them, you don't tell them it's to this guy. And this guy has been chatting you up online, appears to be normal and regular like a sociopath would appear to be normal and regular. Saying all these sweet things, doing all these sweet things to you to rope you in and get you there, but they're really calling you there to be one of their victims or their first victim. This is very well a possibility. I don't know. I'm just looking at it from all angles because I've never lied to my mom and told her I'm going to be somewhere, but really I was in a different state or a different province. When I lied, it was to go to a different friend's house that was just live further away. I wasn't going to check a boy or do anything sexual or anything like that. It was literally just to go hang out with a different friend that was living downtown versus living up the street a bus ride away. So I've never told a lie where I'm in a different state. Like, that's scary for a parent, because should something happen to you, God forbid, your parents are going to be looking at Susie's house when you're not even in the same state. You took a plane or a bus to somewhere else and your parents don't know where to find you. And they're going to be putting up missing posters, and didn't nobody see you because you're in Indiana when you're supposed to be in Virginia, or you're in Virginia when you're supposed to be in Indiana. And then before you know it, your body parts are scattered all over the world, okay? Or all over the state. Like, it's crazy. If you watch any kind of crime shows, if you watch the documentary on Netflix that's called Don't F With Cats, girl, that one was a Canadian based thing that happened. But you have to be careful. Obviously, I'm not trying to scare you, but I am trying to get you to look at all things, especially because this is somebody you met online. It's not like they are online in your city. Not that that would matter any different, but you haven't met them and you've built some kind of trust with them to where you're going to meet them online. I know successful online relationships. I know relationships that have started online. One was in the States, one was in Canada. They linked up and now they've been together for over 10 years. Like, I know there's successes in that, but this was also at a different time. We're in a time now where people are crazy. I don't want paranoia to set in or anything like that, but you have to be careful. So the fact that you're planning or wanting to lie, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with you wanting to give yourself to this person sexually, but you are your own woman. You have to use the spirit of discernment. You have to not ignore your conscience and do what you know would not just be pleasing to God, but not disappoint your parents. Because that's one of our biggest things in life. You're saying that you find that your family is very judgmental, but you didn't really tell me anything that was really truly judgmental about your family. They never said to you shouldn't date. They just think you shouldn't date somebody you haven't met in person before. And a part of me agrees with that, because people can hide things from you when you're just video chatting with them and just living through pictures. It's like catfish, even though you talked via video chat with them. People can hide certain things from you, and then when you get there, they spring something on you that they didn't want to tell you because they were too scared you didn't want to continue, or you wouldn't want to continue the relationship with them. And then you feel guilty. They put a spirit of guilt on you, and you don't want that for yourself. And like I said, I'm not saying that this is your guy, but you have to look at everything. You can't just look at, he was here for me, he was good to me. His only job might be to be there for you online. That might be his job. He might be there to just offer you comfort while you need it. His job might not be to be your boyfriend forever and ever, And apart from that, I know a couple that have been together over 10 years from meeting online. I also know a couple that met online and their partner hid a lot of things from them, and now they're shocked. And they're like, what did I get myself into? I know multiple situations like that. And so you just have to be careful. I don't want to be negative Nancy. I want to give you encouragement, but you have to know that if you never met this person, you would still have to find that peace and happiness within yourself. And that's actually what you should be doing right now. You should be diving in and telling depression to let you go, telling to let you go, telling everything that is not for you, that wants to hurt you, to let you go. Because let me tell you right now, the fact that you're still here is a testimony in itself. The fact that you're still here proves that there's more for you to do, and you're not going to get out of it real easy. You have to start asking God, how do I get through this? You have to start asking God, why am I like this? Can you fix me? Will you fix me? And then saying, I know you will, because he will. And work with that. Get to your happiness without this person. They were just there to make sure that you're not gloomy right now. But you have to now look inside, because should that person not be for you, then what's going to happen? You're going to fall further into depression, and you're going to be looking like, okay, like what do I do now? Because now you're not my boyfriend, and depressed again. I'm further depressed. No, you have to do it without them, and then be with somebody. You have to work on yourself. I always say that it's not good to go into relationships broken, because then certain things just come up out of nowhere and you're like, hold on now, that ain't who I met. And it's a scary thing. So I really believe in my heart that you have to work on yourself, find your peace in yourself, in who you are, and demand that depression lets you go. Demand that the enemy stop telling you lies, so that you can be who you're called to be. Okay? And I understand if you're not spiritual. I understand if you don't believe what I believe. But I'm a living witness, and I'm proof of everything that you're talking about. I'm proof of everything that I'm seeing right now. And that's why, as hard as it is for some people to believe, if I just say the right thing to you, if I speak to you in a way that you will understand, it will change and transform your life. You're special. You are a prized possession. And the reason that you go through what you go through is so that you could talk about it later when you get to the light at the end of the tunnel. You can't let the tunnel take you. It's dark inside, but if you can see where that little tiny bit of light is peeking through the tunnel, you should know that you're gonna be okay. You just have to keep walking. You know, when you watch Dory, she's talking about just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. You literally have to just keep swimming. Don't look behind you. Don't look beside you. Just keep tunnel vision and just get to that light, get to that place. But know that you have to get to that place without somebody else there. You have to have a certain level of isolation around you so that you can get to where you need to be and be who you need to be for somebody else. And trust and believe that when you're on this journey with yourself and with God, that He will show you who you're supposed to be with. It may be this guy, but you have to first get to a place where you can be happy without that guy. Because if you don't, and you're looking to him and depending on him for your happiness and to get you out of your ruts, and you're looking to the wrong person, baby. You got to look up, not straight ahead on FaceTime. Like, that's not who you have to look to for your happiness, because it doesn't come from other people, unfortunately. That's just a mask. It's a band-aid, essentially, and once it gets torn off, you're still not healed. You needed more than just a band-aid. A band-aid does not fix your issue. If you put on a band-aid, even if it's waterproof, for whatever reason, you still end up having to change that band-aid more than one time before your wound is fully healed. Especially if you have like a boo-boo on like your finger or something, because you're always having to wash your hands, unless you're nasty. You always have to wash your hands. You're always putting your hands in water. You're always bathing, whatever it is. Your band-aid never gets to get the job done because it's always getting wet. So that's how you have to look at your situation. And I'm sorry if I didn't tell you what you wanted to hear, but if you guys are writing into me, then you know that I ain't gonna tell you what you want to hear. That's not why I'm here. My only job is to tell you what you need to hear so that you will apply it to your life and heal where you need to heal. So the next email is called Praying Then Maybe Receiving and What It Means. Hi, Bo. Deja here. To start, I spend a lot of time reflecting on my past behaviors and life choices, and I noticed a pattern. Most of us do. I tend to be a very impatient person, specifically regarding people and close friends. So a couple weeks ago, I began to pray and ask God for a bit of patience in hopes of not blocking any blessings. So I told a close friend this, to which they replied, like, you mean you could have been more patient with person A? I said, exactly, just like person A. Bo, when I tell you person A reached out to me the very next day, what does this mean, Bo? Should I allow this person back in my life? Okay. You should have took this thing. You should have went back to God with it, because God would have appreciated it. But because Holy Spirit is using me, maybe I'm about to tell you what you need to do. Because patience is like one of the key components to getting through life. You have to have patience. A lot of the time, especially when you're dealing with God, you have to wait for things because He's not going to give it to you prematurely because you're going to fumble the bag. He has patience with us. As you see, if you were in Wear One for a long time, Wear One is the longest wear of your life, I hope you know, because it's where you're figuring things out. Wear Two is when you're ready to elevate yourself, when you're ready to allow God in to elevate you, because you can't elevate yourself. You have to be elevated through Christ. So if you know that you could have handled a situation differently, and this person is not a bad person, this person is not somebody that, you know, is going to cause you harm. This is good people, good energy, and somebody that you can actually grow spiritually with. Of course you let them back in. But if this is a person that you lost patience with because they were wrong in some sort, what you do is forgive them and you move forward, and you can either choose to build, or you can choose to assess the situation and see how it's a test. Only you know if you should let this person back in. I'm the type of person that when somebody falls out of my life, I accept it for what it is, because I know how good of a friend I am to anybody that's in my life. I know myself, and I know how I've how I treat my friends. I treat my friends with love and respect. And so when I do that and they're not reciprocating that same energy and God says, time for them to go, I'm like, deuces, see you never needed ya. God says, you gotta go, girl, so you gotta go. That's how I treat my relationships. Now, when I started my spiritual journey, I was on a path of forgiveness, and I personally reached out to everyone that God told me to reach out to. So if you weren't in that list of people, honey, you didn't get a text, you didn't get a call, you didn't get flowers, you didn't get none of that. But if I know that God was trying to get you out of my life for a long time and I wasn't allowing him to, and then finally I let you go, I don't invite you back in, because you're going to bring me back to a place that I'm not supposed to go. So only you have that spirit of discernment in your own life where you can identify, is this person good for me or is this person bad for me? And it's not going to take you much more than a day or two to know. Not even a day or two. 5-minute conversation with this person is going to allow you to know what God wants you to do with this thing. Take it back to what I was talking about in one of my last videos about how I gave up Adam and Eve. Well, he emailed me and asked me, hey, are you coming to do anything for January? And I ignored the email. I didn't open it. But then he emailed me a second time because God wants me to actually say to him, hey, no, I'm not coming back. God doesn't want me to just run from the issue or whatever it is. He wants me to respond and close the window, because I had actually emailed him leaving the window open. So that's why he thinks he should email me, because I said, hey, I'm just taking a little break, and then I took a break that was my spiritual journey, but then my spiritual journey turned into something way bigger than myself, and I realized I can't go back. It doesn't even matter that I left the window open. So when he emails me, I didn't even really anticipate he would email me again, right? I just thought I would email him when I was ready, if I was ever ready again. But when I had decided a couple weeks into my spiritual journey that I'm ready to never go back, I just figured that would be that, and I never really thought that they would come back to me, but I guess they make a lot of money off my code, child. So they came back to me, and when he emailed me a second time to be like, hey, I emailed you, what's tea? I was like, okay, I can't not respond. So I said, hey, I'm not coming back actually at all for 2020, and blah, 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 like I told him. So I closed the window because God needed me to close the window. See, God gives us grace and he gives us free will, and you have to do what you know you're supposed to do. So it's the same thing with this person when they reached out to you. If you know this person is not going to aid you or be good for your journey, then you just have a conversation with them, let them know you forgive them for whatever they've done, blah, 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 if they have done something to you, and you leave it where it is. If it develops into something because they've also gone on a journey and they've grown spiritually, then maybe y'all should be linking up and having prayer meetings, okay? But if that's not the case and they're still the same way they were and that's just not what you're into right now or ever will be again, then you know that you need to loose them. So it's up to you, baby. I can't tell you what to do. Only you're gonna know what to do once you hear these words come out of my mouth. So take it for what it is. God likes to send us signs though, and so we can't really ignore these signs. He also likes to test us, and so this is a test for you. And this is maybe a test for you to work on your patience. God is giving you another chance with this person. This person is obviously a forgiving person, and they have come to their senses, and so have you, and so maybe it's a good thing. But only you prayed about it, so you should really know. I think I'm just here for your confirmation. God bless you.